AI is completely going to disrupt the way that we create online courses. But it might not be in the way that you anticipate. Here are 3 ways of how AI will disrupt the online learning industry in ways that is not talked about enough. So when you look at the AI tooling already available to us today, indeed you can say that creating courses will become cheaper and it will become faster to produce. All of these tools will help us in creating ideas, recording courses, and making sure that everything is quality checked. However, there are going to be knock-on effects that I don't think are talked about enough across the online learning industry. So in this video, I want to zoom in on 3 different things that I think will happen in the future that will have a huge influence on the way that we create online courses. Now, the first prediction is that only proprietary and very specific knowledge will remain valuable. As these large language models become more sophisticated and are now able to crawl the internet, all of the generic knowledge that is out there will be presentable to us in whatever form we please. So it will be a short step to translate that into an online course. Instead, having specific use cases and industry-specific knowledge will remain key in order to keep your courses relevant. Let me explain.
Let's say that you were a course creator. Now, in order to create courses, you obviously needed something to talk about. Normally, we would do some market research on topics we were knowledgeable about and people had an interest in. Typically, the course creator would already have significant knowledge about the subject in question. However, in order to create the best possible experience, usually there would be a lot of internet searching for things like examples and specific details. Sometimes we would even engage with subject matter experts and get their insights to incorporate them into the course. If I had to make an estimate, I would not be surprised if this research element took about 8 hours for every hour of high-quality course material. Then we'd use a whole variety of tooling to put the course together. This would be recording software, scripting, and editing tools, etc., etc. After that, we'd finally create the course and present it to our audience. Now, fast forward to right now, in which large language models exist and have the ability to scrape the internet for up-to-date information. The LLM then takes that data and packages in exactly the format we want. So this can be text, videos, audio, and even short explainer videos. As a result, if the knowledge of the SME is also shared on the internet, there is no more reason to consult this individual directly. Instead, we can again have the model get the info from the web, and we can incorporate this into our courses. Now, this sounds great for us course creators, as we no longer have to spend all that time researching topics. But there are also some knock-on effects that might be less desirable. The first one might be obvious. If everybody has the same access to high-quality public info to create their courses, the logical conclusion is that over time, the courses will become more and more alike. This is because access to information and the ability to successfully capture that information is no longer a competitive advantage as it is so readily available. But there's a catch. This only applies to info that is accessible on the net, which leaves us with options. What if we could still reach out to the SMEs and instead focus on either getting licenses of proprietary knowledge or getting very, very specific knowledge that people normally do not have access to? This could be a huge advantage. Suddenly, we again have a way to make our courses top tier with unique insights. Now, Python, for example, depending on the level of difficulty, might be one of those subjects that is in danger. Even though there are some great experts out there, in principle, most of that coding language can be found online, and the repositories make it very accessible to LLMs. A counterexample would be someone who knows a lot about cutting flowers and has developed a very specific way of cutting that increases the plant's life by 30%. This highly specific course, with info that is not out there yet, might do very well in the future. Alright then, so that's the first prediction. Only proprietary and niche knowledge will remain valuable in the future.
My second prediction is that we will see a huge increase in the number of free online courses that will be fully generated by AI. Because it's so cheap to generate these courses based on generic knowledge, there will now be a massive increase and that will start a race to the bottom for the prices in the online learning industry. Let me explain.
Before AI, creating a high-quality course took quite some time. You had to research the topic and then script the lessons, record, edit, and fine-tune. Then package everything into a structured, engaging experience, which led to the final course. This was 30 to 35 hours of work per hour of content, and that's excluding marketing. And that effort justified the price. A well-researched, well-produced course had value, so it was either expensive or it had to be marketed to a lot of people. But now, AI can scrape the internet, input that into AI generation tools, and generate an entire course, fully automated. Big difference is this process takes about 30 seconds instead of 35 hours. It will also cost at most a few dollars instead of the hourly cost of course creators. The result? I predict that soon thousands of low-effort AI-generated courses will flood the market. Right now, it's still obvious when a course is AI-generated. The voices are still robotic, the pacing feels unnatural, and the explanations sometimes miss nuance. But what happens in 1 year, or perhaps 2, AI-generated avatars will be indistinguishable from real instructors. And as AI course quality improves, this will create a race to the bottom. Prices will drop, generic content will become free, and no longer justify the time of a human in the creation process. So here's the second prediction. The market will be flooded with AI-generated courses, leading to a race to the bottom. Only niche, premium, and personalized courses will remain profitable.
My last prediction, and the one that I'm most excited about, is that we'll see more hyper-personalized courses. Because AI can create courses near real time, it becomes possible to really zoom in on specific niches and personal preferences. And this will be a huge benefit to the learner. Let me explain.
The first one is adaptive learning paths and content for each individual learner. We can simply feed the progress into an AI system, and it will not only adapt the learning checks, but also actually adapt the generated content to the individual learner. So, if you have a harder time understanding hooks in React programming, it can create additional how-to videos so you get some extra possibilities to practice. And we all know that there is one key element to learning, the teacher. But what if we can create avatars that adjust exactly to your needs? Perhaps you need someone who is a bit more directive, or perhaps someone who looks like one of your favorite YouTube stars. AI will allow us not to just tailor the content, but also the teacher can be tailored to fit the learner, which will surely add to the learning experience. The last real change will be automatic updates and continuous certification. How many times have you tried to find a course on the latest version of React, only to find out that it was outdated? Well, if we incorporate AI, we can automatically update the content as soon as it is released. And of course, we can also make modular certificates that prove that you have the state-of-the-art knowledge. So that's the third prediction. For me, this is not even a prediction, but almost a given in the near future.
So let's say that these three predictions come true. So specific knowledge becomes more valuable, we see an influx of generic courses on generic topics, and hyper-personalization becomes possible. I think the best way to arm yourself for the future as an online course creator is to really niche down. And of course, there are a couple of ways to do this. You can do your own research in a very specific topic that you think will become valuable in the future, or you can start partnering with other people that have insights in specific niches and industries. I think personalization and really going specific is the way to go when creating courses in the future. But of course, only time will tell if these predictions hold true. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.